जी, good morning भैया.
Good morning, Mohit.
So, a standard disclaimer, nothing in this video is a buy or sell recommendation, and please do not take it as a buy or sell recommendation जो भी हम दिखा रहे हैं. And the structure of the video is कि first we will discuss overview of the market, and then we'll move to what we are tracking and what we traded, and what's our universe for this week, and then we'll study winners, and we just have one Q&A. So we'll wrap up the video in this structure.
Short रखने का try करेंगे. Yeah,
Sure.
in the
Market.
crisp way. Yeah. Uh, right. To start with the market health, yeah, market health looks decent, but problem is कि it's a very selective sort of a market जहाँ पे you are getting like initial 4, 5, 6% of move, and then it's coming back to the base or coming back to the breakout level. You, in short, the market is lacking
Cool.
follow through. So, so this is mid small 400. There is absolutely no way to say कि it's not a good market, or sorry, it's not a bull market. Just looking at these conditions, यहाँ पे आपका price is far above 20 movie average. अगर आप small cap देख लो तो still it is quite above 20-day moving average. Mid cap maybe is also pretty decent. So looking at the broader market, ऐसा नहीं है कि participation नहीं है. It's just that it's a very selective market that buying or that follow through is not getting proliferated to various sectors. It's just restricted to, in my opinion, two sector. Medical is being one of them. So medical is what is looking extremely good, but most of the stocks काफी extended है, तो they're not within the base, so quite difficult to buy them at this point in time. But 2 हफ्ते पहले यू रिमेम्बर जब मैं बोल रहा था कि लुक्स गुड, बट अगर 2-3 वीक का साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन आ जाता, I think I was discussing here when we were here, हाँ 31 जुलाई के बाद आसपास, करेक्ट. इस टाइम पे मैं ये बोल रहा था कि यहाँ पे अगर 2-3 हफ्ते का साइडवेज कंसोलिडेशन हो गया तब ब्रेकआउट करता, इट वुड हैव बीन मोस्ट आइडियल. बट it's just happening in a different way altogether. यहाँ पे breakout आया, even I got involved in the market heavily, and then we are still in this sideways movement. So definitely it's worth having some stocks in your portfolio to test the market at this point in time, but don't go very heavy on this. Keep close eye on the risk management. Try small size. Uh, Try to be in the leading groups, leading stocks within the leading groups, because लोग जो बोलते हैं ना that feedback, market feedback, you can't get market feedback if you are in stupid stocks or stupid sector, the sectors that are not leading, right?
We
So
will discuss that. Table है हमारे पास.
So if you are not in the leading group, you will never get that feedback. And by the time you realize what is happening, market already निकल लिया होगा. So don't be that. Don't do that. Identify the leading sector, leading group. One easy way to do is if I open ChartSmaze one, and this is not a promotion, of course. ChartSmaze doesn't even know who I am, and I don't use ChartSmaze at all. Maybe just for 10% of my research. But what you can do is just go to near 52-week high, just put this as 20%, from 52-week high, and you see the top 2 3 groups. These are the leading groups. Try to be part of this. Within that group, you will see on the side which industry is leading within that group. So pharmaceutical, medical, diversified, hospitals. So again, try to be within top 2 3 industries within that group. If you open auto, you have auto ancillaries, so just try to be within one or two. You see there is a huge difference in 43.2% here versus 8.5%, right? Just
Mm.
stick to auto industry, sorry, auto ancillary. In healthcare, you have still, I mean, reasonable participation across 3 different industries within the medical group: pharmaceutical, medical, diversified, hospitals. So you can just be one or two stocks within each of these industries, and then just two here, two here, two here, two in the auto is like 8 stocks, right? You don't need more than that. So just stick to top 2 sectors. Don't try to be somewhere in the chemicals right now, metal mining, services. These will not give you that feedback you are looking. Of course, they will all go up when the market condition is good. The tide will take all of them along, but the problem is कि जो top leading sector रहेंगे उसके stocks would be up 40 50 60%, while the stocks from the not so leading group will be up like 15%, 20%, 25%. And if that's what you want to achieve, so then no complaints. But
And
yeah,
you said me last week कि what track leaders, what are they doing? When I bought HSCL, then you asked me Equitas क्या कर रहा है भाई? जो लीडर है वही इसमें क्रैक कर गया तो केमिकल्स में क्यों?
correct. So uh, if we go on this, yeah. So HSCL, see, you I think bought somewhere after 3rd August, right? But see,
Uh,
Equitas,
First by 4th August.
right? But if you see Equitas, what Equitas is doing is it is now below trading below 50-day moving average, and it's going to go sideways, forming a base. More likely than not, very often the group will follow what the leader is doing. So if the leader is forming a base, sooner or later other stocks will also start forming the base. And it's like ऐसा कुछ वो होकस पोकस
Impulsion.
नहीं है इसमें. It's just basic understanding of demand and supply. So for example, Equitas now it has moved 130 140%, right? Now 140% move के बाद obviously you would expect some sort of consolidation, right? And the leader is the one that consolidates first. The leader is the one that more like, again, more often than not it will lead the first, right? Maybe second or third, but it will lead uh, within those sort of ranks, right? So if Acutus is starting to form base, HSCL, again, you see HSCL from the bottom, it has gone up 97%. Now you see the difference between the leader and non-leader. The leader has moved 140%. The second best, let's say Himadri Special, I don't track this sector, so I don't know. But let's say HSCL is the second best stock within the group, and it has moved 95%, right? So this is where the contrast comes in between the leader and other stocks within the same group. The leader will be, I mean, by definition itself is going to lead. नवीन फ्लोराइड और कौन से हैं इसमें सेक्टर में?
Balaji Mines, Naveen Fluorine.
Balaji Amines. You see, Balaji Amines also is trading below 20-day moving average. It is sort of like forming
ये
downward.
मेरा ही बाय था जब मैंने आपसे पूछा था.
ये नहीं, ये तो 9 जुलाई का है यार. लोड क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? इंटरनेट को इशू होगा. But again, this is not a good looking structure here, right? Again, अभी शायद कुछ तो इंटरनेट का इशू हो रहा है, but when it loads, you will see it is below the 20-day moving
below
average.
20.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have to be cognizant of the fact ki what the leaders are doing before you buy something within the group. If if leaders are falling, if leaders are consolidating, if leaders are trading below the 20-day or 50-day moving average, most of the stocks in the group will follow the same trajectory, right? So always a good idea to have a look at the leading stock within the same group. And one very simple way of doing that is, what you do is, if you have trading view, just go to compare symbol, add Acutus Chemicals, add HSCL, and you will know.
FCL,
Sorry,
FCL, Phonotex Chemicals.
FCL,
और भी होंगे इसमें.
Acutus, FCL, Acutus,
नवीन
HCL,
नवीन
Naveen. Right, so what you do is you just do this, you close all these EMAs for now. You will remove this. So you see, Acutus is your blue line. You see, Acutus is getting selected, right? Just देखो कितना contrast है Acutus और बाकी के उसमें, correct? Next best would be, I think, Naveen Fluoride, or Naveen Fluoride, or these three are almost like similar, but
almost similar.
almost similar. But yeah, HSCL is slightly ahead, followed by your Naveen Fluoride, followed by your FCL, right? और भी इसमें बहुत सारे नाम्स मिल जाएंगे, but this is the best way to compare कि भाई लीडर कौन है तुम्हारे ग्रुप में. And then just, even if you're not in the leader, first of all, try to be in the leader. That's the first and foremost thing you should be doing when you are entering the market again from cash. Find out the leader and try to be in the leader, even a small position, just so that you are within the game, you are within the personality of a leader, right? And then just track it, okay, how it is doing. Now you see it has like sort of broken down here, right?
डबल
अब
टॉप टाइप.
अब अगर दूसरा कोई स्टॉक आएगा, मोर लेस वो भी यहाँ से साइडवेज करना स्टार्ट ही होगा, राइट? तो यू डोंट वांट टू बी इन द स्टॉक वेयर टॉप टू थ्री, सॉरी, यू डोंट वांट टू बी इन अ ग्रुप जहाँ पे टॉप टू थ्री आर बिगिनिंग टू कंसोलिडेट, which predominantly means ki, or which more likely means ki you are getting yourself into laggards, right? That's not the that's not the right way to do the momentum swing trading. Of course, you can. So like me, right? Uh, I don't like to jump sector or groups to groups. My group, that the group that I had followed was power sector, power transmission, distribution, all that set of stocks. And within this cycle, right, जो May के बाद से अपनी जो cycle है, which is like you have this chemicals, you have this medical. I did not participate in that. I didn't even track this closely because I have done enough research on my industry to know कि ठीक है, this is just a phase of consolidation. Uh, when the things start moving on the right side, I would want to be one of the early ones to enter those stocks so that my cost average is low and so that I can build a heavy size on them, right? So there's nothing wrong. It's just that you can't expect this to go up when let's say the market starts to turn uh, tomorrow or next week or a week after that, right? That won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
This uh, uh, Acutus, right? It won't suddenly uh, jump from here, and it will not start trading like कि भाई मार्केट हुआ तो ऐसे ऐसे सॉरी आपका ऐसे ऐसे you will not expect that to happen in Equitas. What much likely would happen is small consolidation, small consolidation, something like this, and by the time this happens, you are already like 2 months, 3 months away, right? So आपकी वो पूरी पूरी cycle, almost half of the cycle will end, and when the stocks or when the industry that is leading this cycle starts to drift or consolidate, this is when the breakout of this would start happening. That's how the rotation works. ठीक है? तो
And
yeah,
मतलब if मतलब जैसे अगर पावर में वी चेक द रिजल्ट्स भी बहुत अच्छे आए हैं एंड इवन
so Hitachi is one of the most liquid leaders within the sector, right? Uh, how a sector is going to do, basically आपको बहुत सारे you'll find a lot of small caps or mid caps name which are like zooming or which are going up, right? Just to see whether the real crux, or just to get a real check of the industry, you should always tap into the leaders, what oh, sorry, liquid leaders, what the big players are doing, right? Hitachi Energy is one of that stock. You other have the other stock you have is GE Vernova, right? So everything about these stocks scream that they are forming the right side, they are going to give the next leg up, right? आपका, and the results also, if you see, they are extremely good. DD power system, uh, gap up, consolidating now. You have Apar Industries, but again, this is not a buy or sell recommendation. But the point is, ki how the rotation happens is everybody would be tracking those stocks, like the chemical ones, because they are up, right? Everybody in every scan, they are seeing those stocks. They won't be leading this run. If you see side by side, if you compare, when they were when these stocks were doing something in the March, something like this, right? At that point in time, those HSCLs and other things, they would be consolidating. And once this move began, they started, and now this consolidation is happening, and the market is led by those stocks, right? Similarly, if you tap into let's say medical sector, right? So I've been saying the medical sector is the one that is very strong. What is the name of the company? I am this. क्या हो रहा है ये? रूबिकॉन देखते हैं. रूबिकॉन देखो आप, राइट? मतलब हार्डली एनी स्ट्रेस इवन इन दिस मार्केट, जहाँ पे हम लोग रो रहे थे कि भाई मार्केट कितना खराब हो गया, ये मार्केट में देखो कैसा, मतलब एकदम मॉडल स्टॉक्स, एकदम आइडियल बच्चे की तरह कंसोलिडेट ऊपर. नाउ लुक एट द वन ऑफ द मोस्ट लिक्विड स्टॉक्स,
लिक्विड लीडर्स
लिक्विड लीडर लॉरस लैब्स देखो, राइट? एकदम सिंसियर, बच्चे की तरह आराम से सर्फिंग अराउंड 2010, थोड़ा सा नीचे
एंड
कंसोलिडेट।
रिजल्ट के बाद तो फट गया। मतलब लार्ज कैप इतना बड़ा ऐसा चलना।
राइट। तो अब इट वुड बी अनफेयर।
इवन इवन शिल्पा।
शिल्पा तो दिखा दिया। अच्छा, शिल्पा इसमें नहीं दिखाया था ना, हम लोग
हम्म
पहले बात कर रहे
हम्म
थे, सॉरी।
हम्म हम्म,
शिल्पा मेडिकेयर, राइट। तो अब it would be unfair to ask them to just keep going up, right? शिल्पा अभी मैं तुमको दिखा रहा था, राइट? It has moved what, some 400%,
200%।
सॉरी 200%, 220, 230%, राइट? अब 220-30% के बाद यार ऑब्वियसली थोड़ा रेस्ट लेना बनता है, let it consolidate here, right? And then start forming your position, building your position once they are in the base. If you think these are going to be the ones that you would be trading, for next 6 months, 3-4 quarter cycle, right? So this is what the analysis is. Everything looks good so far, but it's just that the market is lacking follow through. We have our
Just a
universal.
question on this. You said track leaders. So Equitas was a leader in the chemicals. So whenever the sector rotation happens, will Equitas lead again?
No, not likely. I mean, it usually don't happen that way. Uh, it's not to say कि it won't be one of the leaders. Leaders मतलब एक या दो stocks होते हैं, but anything that is led by uh, in a previous cycle is not usually is not led by in the next cycle as well. So Equitas की जगह something else will definitely take over. For example, if I were to see something, I'll show you. So Hitachi was one of the leaders in the previous cycle, right? If you were to see this, market यहाँ पे गिर रहा था and the Hitachi was breaking out here, ठीक है? So just I mean it's not an apple to apple comparison क्योंकि यहाँ पे it's a like 1.5 lakh crore market cap company, but you will understand what I'm trying to say is कि यहाँ पे it's breaking out well before the market is even beginning to move up. But if you see in this cycle, right, it's still somewhere in the middle of the base, but something like Apar industry is now breaking out well in advance, right? And if you see Apar industry, what it was doing in the previous cycle, you see Apar industry was still within the base even when the market had turned, right? So it was one of the laggards in the previous one, but I would definitely call it one of the leading stocks in the power sector, power transmission distribution sector for this cycle, right? Apar Industries. Uh, TD Power is also pretty much similar if it can stick to what it's doing. TD Power system market had turned and then it was still forming base. Now market is choppy to, let's say, upward direction, but slightly choppy. And our stock TD Power is just like above all time high, at all time high, well above 10-day moving average, 20-day moving average, right? So this is how the
Even
rotation would happen between.
even after the 8% gap, इसने upper circuit मारा।
And point is कि last के 2-3 दिन में it never gave up anything, right? When मेरा वो कौन सा स्टॉक था जिसमें मेरे को नाम बोल रहा हूँ मैं, सेकेंड, HFC,
सॉफ्टवेयर
हाँ
सॉफ्टवेयर
नहीं नहीं
अच्छा इस साइकिल
I think
एसओटी है
SOTL, right? So SOTL, um, after the result, after the gap up, you see what it did, right? So that's the difference. यहाँ पे you have those leading stocks, and they are maintaining that level even after the breakout, such a big gap up, right? Within this market, they are maintaining that gains, right? So to me, they look like a leading stock in this cycle, but let's see how it turns out. If you track the sector close enough now, if you're tracking them week by week, it becomes very easy to just see which stock is going to be the leading stock. But yeah, if you are hopping one industry to another industry, वो नहीं होगा फिर वो फिर जब जब मूव आ जाएगा half of the move is still it has already happened. That's when you will be like, acha, this could be one of those leaders. So don't be that guy.
हाँ,
So
अब
sticking
2025 में मेरे साथ यही हुआ सेम कि मैं कोई भी थीम ढंग से टाइम नहीं कर पाया
भाई 2025 में कोई भी थीम थी भी नहीं यार, बहुत ज्यादा।
मतलब
दो दो
जैसे
तीन
अगर ऑटो जितना भी चला और मेटल्स जितना भी चला
दो 2025 दो I mean that's a I wouldn't say कि 2025, I mean to me I'll respect that guy who would say कि 2025 में मैंने ट्रेड ही नहीं ली, बिल्कुल भी ट्रेड, that would be like my idol. I would worship that guy who says कि मैंने ये लो मेरा लॉग देखो, मैंने एक ट्रेड नहीं ली है, because the market was
ऐसे
such.
ये भी हो सकता है उसने 2026 में डीमेट खुलवाया हो।
हाँ, of course. So, sticking to the schedule, we have our
यूनिवर्स
universe posted here in the IPO scan. We have a couple of names. KRN, again, one of the good stocks that we are not tracking anymore because of the circuit. Thank you, baby. Q Power is again,
it's removed from the trade to trade segment KRA.
yeah, but still 5%.
Mhm.
Uh, Q Power is also the same thing, and then we have the RS scan, where we tend to find the leading stocks through this scan. The filters are here, and this is the result, right? So you can go through that. This is, I mean,
You can even copy paste in मतलब copy this and paste directly in trading.
yeah. What you can do is just select these names, copy, Control C, go to your watch list, and just type Control V, enter, and see, magic happens. So it's just really that simple. Of course, now this is the easiest part of doing it. We just run a scan and we paste that list. We don't want to be one of those guys जहाँ पे हम बोले कि नहीं देखो हमारा stock fly कर रहा है. You'll never see those things. In our scan, you will see probably 100 names out of three and a half thousand that are there on the NSE. Now, out of that 100 names, it's your responsibility to build a watch list or focus list. Watch list shouldn't be more than 10 to 12 stocks. The focus list should not have more than 4 or 5 stocks that you are tracking for the next week. That's your responsibility. I don't care how you do it, but if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be as focused as you should. Uh, just to be one of those people who are making that gains that people will be like, wow, right? For that, you need focus. Focus comes by just looking at the same thing again, 100 times, 200 times. So just stick to
and
that.
and
More,
do not scan daily.
yeah, yeah. Just weekly scan. you shouldn't even look outside your watch list for the whole week. Watch list of 10-12 stocks, that's it. uh, Weekly you should form your universe of 20-30 stocks max. That 20-30 stocks, if you are like someone like uh, who want to hold the name for, let's say, couple of weeks to months, 1 or 2 months, couple of weeks, that universe list also shouldn't change. That universe of 20-30 stocks that you're tracking, like 20 stocks, 25 stocks, that shouldn't change on a weekly basis. Maybe 1 or 2 ads here and there, but not more than that. Watch list should be so that watch list should be for all the stocks that are there in your universe list, that you are potentially tracking, which can be buyable in 2 weeks time. Let's say this whole week they can form a good structure, and then next week they can be buyable. Focus list is something that you see to be buyable within the same week, within next couple of days to week, 3-4 days max. So the watch list out of your universe list should not have more than 10-12 stocks. The focus list that you're planning should not have more than 3-4 stocks. That's how you do it. Morpan Labs was one of the most talked about stocks, I think 2022, 2023. And again, it's coming in the,
रिसेंटली ईपी की वजह से.
yeah, so it's coming back to life. So I'm going to put my neck out and say that, pharma is going to, let me take a step back. The medical sector is going to stick around us for a very long time. The results are extremely good across the industry, and if they are able to sustain, then you'll see that. So I always say, right, the market is led by 2-3 groups. You definitely have power transmission and distribution as one sector. You will have medical as second sector, and the third sector, in my opinion, so far what it looks like is auto. But I really don't like auto industry. I mean, बहुत ही कम नाम है. It's a small group. It's it's very heavily, it's very news oriented sector. Majority of these stocks, they are into exports, and any tariff here and there can just like slam dunk it. So I tend to avoid those sector. Not a very fast moving also. Within that, if you can just find out the precision engineering ones, the ones that are providing components to power, like the auto ancillaries, which are catering to multiple industries like aerospace. You have multiple industries across multiple industries, right?
संसेरा.
Sansera ho gaya, right? Where they have diversified business across couple of industries. Those are looking extremely good. Sansera, I think there is an end to Sansera now, because कल मैं देख रहा था, now this is parabolic. This is extremely,
इससे इससे पहले का इसका मूव देखो ना, तो आपको दिखेगा ही नहीं कि चलेगा, सो जाएगा.
हाँ, this is how it happens, right? अब ये
नहीं, ऑन डेली.
मैं
इवन
वीकली पे ये दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. You draw this trend line, right? You draw this trend line, and we are there on the upper ceiling of it. If you look at daily, right, it is definitely parabolic. You have one angle this, and then you have the second angle going up now like this, right? So to me, this is an end of Sensera before it consolidates and it forms a good size base. Not even a small base like this one. It should, I don't think this size is
this
also
this is one of the model stocks from markets में.
Sansera. अरे वाह, nice. Anyways, so
Model portfolio stock, sorry. Model portfolio stock.
यार उनका मॉडल पोर्टफोलियो स्टॉक्स तो बहुत जल्दी चेंज होता रहता है. Right.
Uh,
And next, what we were discussing, Mohit,
uh,
uh,
so
winners
market
and
health, market health summarize अभी तक कि market health is
market
uptrend but choppy
market
and
health. Yeah, uptrend, choppy. Definitely have couple of stocks in your portfolio, but take care of the size. Maintain risk management discipline. Don't don't let it come back hugely. Uh, work in staggered fashion. For example, if your stock has gone up couple of percent, maybe take 20-30% off, move the rest of it below the cost price, so that even if it comes down, it doesn't really make a negative impact, or even if maybe very slightly. I am guilty of that. I,
reflex.
yeah, I am guilty of making that mistake. So the problem with me is I have to I, I can't sell. it is very it is very difficult for me to sell because I have done enough work on that company to know okay, where it can go, and then when the price doesn't prove that, it is becoming very hard for me to accept it.
Even इवन आई फील एटलीस्ट कि यार वो 20-25% तो चले थोड़ा कि हाँ ठीक है.
Yeah.
यू फील कि चलो 20-25% इज द लेवल कि आप थोड़ा सा पोर्शन यू कैन सेल इनटू स्ट्रेंथ इफ यू आर अ स्विंग ट्रेडर. बट वो 10% से ही वापस आया था तो इट डज नॉट मेक एनी सेंस. मतलब इट डज नॉट मेक सेंस टू मी नाउ कि यू सेल एट 3 आवर और 4 आवर व्हेन यू नो कि मतलब हमारी बात हुई थी इस बारे में. यू सेड कि क्यों करना है भाई इतनी जल्दी.
Now
मतलब
see, again, it's not a healthy thing to do, because you should always. This is what we have discussed, right? You should be flexible enough to change your style as per the market environment, right? Currently, the market environment is you take some profit off so that you can make it risk free, and then you can give it a slightly larger room on the downside for it to come back and just see if it is really coming down after that, or maybe taking a u-turn, right? um, Problem with me is, and it's for me precisely, is that I know which 6, 7, 8 stocks I'm going to trade for this entire cycle, right? 6, 7, 8 stocks. Now, because I have such a high conviction, and I'm not going to have so many turnovers, right? कि अच्छा ठीक है 5 मिनट 5% 10% पे बेचन, let's look for a new stock. That's not going to happen. So it becomes very difficult for me to sell even a portion of it, even if it is moved, 4, 5, 6%, because for all I know, it can just make a 10% move the next day, right? So again, we should practice what we preach. हम लोगों ने बोला हुआ था कि भाई bend yourself with the market conditions. It's not happening. Uh,
it's even difficult for me. यार you see a 6% candle one day and then you expect कि यार follow through तो आएगा इतना strong buying है.
yeah,
Stay.
yeah. So this is definitely happening in this market. Fortunately, uh, 3rd August के buy के बाद everything is still break even. Uh, I mean the risk is not huge that I'm carrying. But I think मेरा right now I am like close to about, not close to about, I'm approximately 150% invested, and I have an open risk of 1%. I'm break even for the last 2 weeks. So 1% open risk is fine. I mean, and most of the stocks, they are there. They are just like dancing near the breakout point. So let's see if they can have a follow through coming week.
And I am just 50% invested क्योंकि I did not see a follow through and I'll put that in the description कि मैंने क्या क्या लिया क्यों ऐसे लगा which we are discussing कि लीडिंग ग्रुप में नहीं था. You can
Yeah.
also see that.
RR cable is what I closed because I wanted the portfolio to be neutral somehow, and I took some losses, so I had to neutralize that. And this, as it is, wasn't a very ideal point, so I bought RR cable on 0408, right, somewhere at what 2642. So I think 2642, somewhere around this level, let's say, right now. The ideal point would have been somewhere here, but since the market environment was not, I mean, the market signal was not there, I couldn't buy it. And this was, you can say, a lucky buy sort of a thing, which moved the same day, and then we have this
We,
sideways consolidation.
I
So
think we attempted it when it reclaimed 20 MU उसके एक दो दिनों बाद. पीछे पीछे
ये
नहीं.
यहाँ पे
हाँ यहाँ पे मैंने डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे एक अटेम्प्ट करा था
नहीं.
और सेकंड अटेम्प्ट मेरा जस्ट वापस हुआ था ऐसे.
Hmm, I'll have to go back, but ठीक है अभी. So uh, bought on 0408, I sold on 010, I mean 1008 at 2743. So at 10 would be this day, yeah, 2743 at this price. So this was just to compensate for the
small
losses,
loss.
yeah, small losses that I was making. So the KSH was another that I closed the position. KSH I think कब खरीदा था मैंने 0608 0608 इस दिन, yeah, 0608 को खरीदा था, and I sold it on. So I sold little bit on the same day because it closed lower than the previous day. So my expectation was it can just like go down, and then I was carrying a lot of other stocks, so I couldn't add here. Plus we had earnings coming up, so there is no way I'm going to add. I sold on 13 at 1002, so 13 would be this 1002, somewhere around this price, yeah. And I was expecting it to do something like SOTL did. He come back to the breakout and maybe around this level, just to close the entire gap. But so far it's holding pretty good, so let's see. It can just, break out from here. This to me looks like forming a small structure, and then it can just, you know make a move like that. So even that can happen. So yeah,
ठीक
these
है. So
these
market. Mhm.
yeah, these two stocks is what I booked. I made loss in Para Cables and Vindhya Telelinks. So problem with Vindhya Telelinks was my cost was way too up high. I bought a little bit, I think, here, and then I added more here, and the it became very top heavy. So the average, was somewhere around this price, and then we have this fluctuation, and then the price coming down. So yeah, this stop loss got hit. It's more than what I expected to give back. I had 0.5% loss on this. So yeah, see. Next.
So market health uptrend but choppy. Sectors which are working are pharma, some
Medical.
part of
Let's
medical,
call it medical. Yeah.
medical and hospitals, and some part of auto and facilities, which is precision engineering.
Uh,
Uh, these two sectors are working and power may be consolidating. So So
Can
we have to discuss winners fundamentally and technically how they look. Because we talked about fundamentals in our last video, so we have to discuss how they look fundamentally and technically and why.
technically see technically everybody knows how it looks. They are
Mhm.
breaking out, but what is fueling that move is what you will get to know from the fundamentals, right? So we will take one stock every week and we'll just uh, go over on a very high level on what it looks like. Then definitely this is just like 20% of what the research you should be doing. It's more about getting to know the company, getting to know the industry, and that that
Mhm.
can that can happen only when you listen to their conference calls, when you listen to their management interviews and all those things, right? So we picked up Zen Technologies from 2023, and the move it made in 2023 was like Zen Tech, Zen Technologies,
Uh, India wala, India wala.
and if I put it on quickly, so this is 2023, starting this period, right? Coming out of a very, very large base.
Uh, सबसे पहले ये हमारे स्कैन्स में कब आता अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
So if you're scanning near 52-week high, right? Uh, it would easily come in that sector in that scan. That's number one. And let's say even if you don't find it here, right? You'll definitely find it in this consolidation, and in this consolidation it will come into your percentage 52-week high, it will come into your 90 plus RS rating, it will come in your group rank filter. So by this time it would definitely be among the top 2 3 groups, right? So
Mhm.
it's impossible for a stock to make this kind of move and not appear in your 90 plus RS filter, not appear on your 52-week high filter, right? 15% to
100.
50%. So that's why I insist that have a fixed input, only then you will get a fixed output. If you keep tweaking your filters here and there, right, you will not get a consistent output and you are bound to miss something like this. So just stick to one filter, stocks greater than stocks near their 20% from their 52 weeks high, and add some liquidity filter. That's all. That's all
Uh,
you need to have. uh,
what we
yeah,
use in the scan is in the description, and you can
yeah.
check that out.
So you have, don't stress over this period. This is when most of the people would have missed this stock. Over here, if you see, it wouldn't even be somewhere in the 70s or 80s of the RS, right? It can't be more than that. Even if you miss this move, that's fine. You would have what, probably on from this breakout you missed what, like 60%. But then if you are able to capture this move, that's 178%, right? So
And this proves कि जो चला है वही वापस चलेगा. ये 50% चला और ऑल टाइम हाई के बाद उल्टा और ज्यादा ब्रेकआउट से.
correct. And you see the earnings per share here. This is what is fueling this growth. Now, as you see over here, this 500%, 500%, 130%, 200%, it's fueling this move. But as you are near the top, you see it's starting to deaccelerate, and then you have this one final acceleration, which you can call it as blowout move, and then you see the next cycle it's 39%. So basically what happens is, over here the analysts, they are raising their target, they are raising the expectation, and at one point the expectation becomes so big that the company's performance or the growth cannot really match those expectations, and that is where the de-acceleration happens. That is where the fundamental guys, the PE guys, will say uh, this is overvalued. It's trading at 1000 PE or whatever bullshit they talk about. Uh,
And technical guys will see a climax move.
Technical guys will see a climax move, correct? But the point is, this is the cycle that you'll see everywhere. You can take any name whatsoever, it will follow the same structure.
Mhm.
The EPS is accelerating, 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 at then it will come, there will come point, sorry, there will come a point jahan pe that acceleration has to slow down. That's the nature of it. The company cannot grow at a certain level for years and years together. It has to stop, and this is where the valuation again, starts to look good. This is where the value guys will start to invest, that okay, this is fundamental, darling. Now over here they'll be like, okay, it is really finally valued. They would start buying here, and EPS is just going for a toss. But then again, the same cycle will follow. It will go up here. The earnings will start accelerating once again based on the company's order book, based on their company's revenue, their PAT, and everything else, and it will go from here till, let's say, 10,000, and then value guys will start screaming about how overvalued this is, and then the de-acceleration starts to happen, right? So if I were to show you the fundamentally what it did, you see, so where are we? This is January 23, right? So January 23 means somewhere in this quarter we would have seen the result of Q3 2022, right?
एक मिनट आपको डेट बता भी देता
नहीं ठीक है, you get this here, right? So Q3 2022, December 2022, you see there is a jump of 9400% in the EPS. There is a jump of 167% in sales, and then you see the sales figure. Sales is what drives the EPS. EPS basically talks about how well the management is utilizing that fund, right? And you can tinker with any of these things. So you can have high EPS on a slow sales. How you can do that? Let's say you cut down your expenses, right? So even if your sales is growing in single digit,
हूँ.
you can have EPS growing on triple digits, but that's not a healthy sign, right? What you want to
Even
say is, हाँ, बोलो.
even other income को बढ़ा.
Chalo, other income again, it varies company to company, because a lot of times they class. So if they have multiple subsidiaries, they qualify their income as, in the consolidated report, they classify that income as other income. So that is subjective. I won't get into that. But the point is, you would want to see an acceleration in both sales and EPS together, and that acceleration is also reflected in the EBITDA margin, right? uh, you can have high,
So
you can have, one
Mhm.
second, so you can have high sales, you can have very poor EPS if the company is just burning the money, right? For example, something like, let's say, Swiggy or something.
Zomato,
Yeah,
Swiggy.
they will be having higher and higher revenue, but their EPS is going to be very poor because they are just burning the money, right? So it's very easy to tweak any of these numbers. What you should do is look at them together, and this acceleration, this growth should also reflect in their EBITDA margin. So if you see, this is just like a crazy acceleration, right? 30%, 167%, 364%, 300%, 200%, 198%. You see this, this kind of growth in EPS, for what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, close to 6 quarters, right? Now if we look back into the EBITDA margin from June 2022, we were talking about December 2022, right? From June 2022, the company started to, you know, have a turnaround from negative EBITDA to positive 4,000%, 500%, 750%, 1,500%, 400. This is what a model book stock looks like. This is the kind of fundamentals you would want to see in the stock that you are purchasing, that you are trying to buy and hold, right? I'm not this is not for those people who just buy technical swing traders. You guys are awesome, you guys rock. This is for those geeks, those nerds who want to have certain convictions, some sort of reason.
with the
The
heavy position size जिसको खेलना है.
huh, the wind on their back, right? So and those who want to hold it for like couple of months to couple of cycles, this is what you should insist on seeing as a number for the fundamentals for any company, right? And this is not just one off. You will see multiple of these. We'll go through multiple of these examples. Maybe not as extreme as this. This is absolutely crazy sort of fundamentals that you saw as a growth acceleration for this company. But anything about 20% quarter on quarter in terms of the sales growth is good to have. It's very good. Anything about 30-40%, 40% or above quarter on quarter in terms of the EPS growth is extremely good. uh, EBITDA
Year on
margin.
year, right?
I mean, so
Quarter
so
on
so
quarter,
so
yeah,
sorry.
year.
So the comparison, I tend to prefer the comparison year on year. But what I meant to say was, like, if you see this comparison, this is year on year numbers. So what I meant to say is September 2022 as against of September 2021, December 2022 as against of December 2021. So you see this acceleration quarter on quarter. What I meant quarter on quarter was this September 22, December 22, March 23, June 23, right? This acceleration, the continuous 2-3 quarters of acceleration is what you tend to see. Now,
And would you call that a deceleration after March 23 जो हुआ?
so March 23, no, this is not deceleration. This
No,
is
on the sales side.
no. So March 23 to 364% है. See,
The next one is
no. You
Mhm.
don't call this as a deceleration. The deceleration, what you see is, so these are gigantic numbers. These are unrealistic numbers, right? You can't say कि 167% से 364% गया and then it dropped to 299%. So this is a deceleration. Now this is not a deceleration. Deceleration, what you should see is over a couple of quarters. So from here, 167, 364, 299, 203, 198. Now you see it's starting to deaccelerate from triple digit to almost like by 50%, right? 198 to
Okay, okay.
suddenly 83,
Mhm.
92. Then you have this one of the quarters in between, just maybe something would have happened here in terms of the order book, whatever could have happened. And then you starting to see 44%, then another one off, and then 56% this. Now what you should see is, again, like I said, just combine it together. A deceleration of 50%, but you see a deceleration of close to about 60-70% in EPS, right? So this is where, and this by any means doesn't mean that the stock will stop moving. It's just an indication is that, maybe we are peaking the fundamentals for that cycle. We are very close to peaking the fundamentals for that cycle. Maybe another 2-3 quarters, and the wind should slow down, right? For example, if I were to show you BSC, right? uh,
मोटल है.
you see BSC, right? BSC का देखो, ये एक्सेलरेशन देखो, यहाँ पे आपका आराम से 129, 70%, 72%. Now this you can call it as deceleration because it's almost 50%, but you see the EPS here, right? So when you together combine these two values, you can't say ki it's deaccelerated. You This is one of the quarters in between, but you see again the next quarter it jumped back to 67% in EPS, again jumped back by another, let's say, 40-50%, again acceleration. This is what uh, you know this is again one of those model book stocks, BSC, and this is what you should always insist on having in terms of the fundamentals for the company that you are trying to invest into, right? Again, another very good thing to look at is annual EPS. So annual EPS, if you see steady growth, that is a very very good indication. So you see 2023 is when the turnaround started to happen, right? December 2023, if you qualify this as or let's take June 2023. So 5% to 18.7%. That's huge. That's like a huge sort of growth. 18 to 30%, 31 to 18 to 31, 31 to 60, 60 to 76, 76 to 93. Now if you start comparing this, this is where you see that okay, slight D acceleration is happening. 18 to 31 is uh, huge growth.
Almost double.
Yeah, 70-80%. 31 to 60, it is actually double. Now 60 to 76 is 16, it's about
Right.
25% growth. 76 to 93, if you see, it is happening again, that 20-25% growth. And it is very obvious the market cap has become such a big, it has become so big that it
Happy.
cannot, it cannot follow the same growth trajectory, right? So this is where we focus on mid caps, small caps, which can have this sort of phase of 3-4 months, 3-4 quarters, where they can give us that 150, 200%. So if you see from this date until 2024, we were saying that it's peaking, right? From this till this, the stock has gone almost 900%. Sorry, 1000%, right? 1000% in a matter of what, 1.5 years? No,
Yeah, 20.
little over 1.5 years, 1 year, maybe 9 months or so. uh, no, March 23 to Jan 25, huh? 1 year, 1 year 9 months or so, 1 year 9 months or so, 1000%. Now we are not claiming that we are going to capture the
नहीं कर
gap.
पाएंगे इतना.
There is no way, and we don't even need to, right? If we can just capture just this move, this is a 40% move, a, a,
Or
40,
count easily.
a 40%
Even
move,
on. Mhm.
a 40% move, and this cycle a 50% move, a 40% move, even on an average of 20% weight, 20% size, is like moving my
8%.
portfolio to buy 7-8%, 7-8% here, 7-8% here. One stock in a matter of what, May 23 till, let's say, this date, August 23, May, June, July, August, 4 months, and one stock has moved your portfolio by 15%. That is so that is what we are gunning
Aiming.
for. That is what we want to achieve. So it's not that we are saying we are going to get the top, get the bottom. No, no. We just want the piece of it here, maybe some piece of it from, let's say, here till here. Maybe we can get some piece here to here, but get chopped out a couple of times. But yeah, so, and there is only one way you will be able to track this stock for such a long time. It's when you are tracking the fundamentals, right? Otherwise, from here, you will capture this move, but it will slip out of your radar from here onwards, and then you will see, then you will find it again sometime here, right? So a simple, if you just want to have a very simple filter criteria, just go with, just have two sort of mm, fundamental filter. One is sales sales growth. uh, Insist on having more than 15% so that you don't miss out on a number that is beginning to turn. 15% for last 2 quarters, current quarter and a quarter before, greater than 15%. And in terms of the EPS, you should always ask for more than 25%, right? uh, because if so, for example, if you put here as 40 and 40, right,
Mm-hmm.
you would have missed in this scan here, right? So we, and this can happen very frequently, that 1 quarter of a bad earnings, or not even bad earnings, of a slowed down earnings, shouldn't kick the stock out of your radar. So keep it slightly on a lower range so that you can see a number of stocks, and then you add RS filter on top of it, and you will find the leading stock, the leader for that
So,
cycle.
uh, so if we scan for 15% sales and 25% earnings, what are the numbers
Don't
we would have in a list?
don't put it together in the same filter. Keep
Okay.
Make two filters. One is sales filter, one is EPS filter. Sales filter 15% this quarter, 15% a quarter before or higher. That's one filter. The second filter is 25%, 25% for EPS, and that's it. Add on top your if you
Why
want.
not together? Basically,
See,
we.
together mein what can happen is, uh, like I said, right? If here, if you see, let's assume this was, let's assume we have a filter of 30% or 40%, right? So this would meet the criteria of sales, but this will not appear in the list because of this rejection here. You see what I'm trying to say?
Mhm.
Acha, let's take this as a perfect example. You have a sales growth of 186% here. But if you combine EPS in the same one, it will not appear on your list because of this negative 66%.
Mhm.
So, do you really want to lose sight of a stock because of this? Now, this EPS could be for whatever reasons. They could have just uh, one of the time they are asked to pay something extra, or they have made some sort of investment. Could be literally anything. That's why you have to give the benefit of doubt, and you know just have these two separated so that they don't reject each other, uh, uh, based on whatever parameters. Now it can happen that this is growing at
Mhm.
some 300, 400%, but the sales this quarter has reduced, or the realization of the sales has dipped compared to same quarter previous year, right? So that is why this is a good practice to maintain, that you keep. And logically speaking, you will find a 70% to 80% overlap. It's just those 20-30% of edge cases that we want to avoid missing out. That's all.
Uh, in charts में क्या फायदा है कि you can combine these scan, मतलब you can run these two scans separately and remove the overlap basically, कि अगर कोई एक नाम है जो दोनों में है, तो अगर आप दो स्कैन साथ में रन करोगे और कंडीशन लगा के, सो इट विल मतलब रिड्यूस द नंबर, और ओवरलैप भी अपने आप हट जाएगा.
करना क्यों है भाई? So if you are doing this kind of filter, that means you are trying to get the best of the best stocks, right? Now what what it does is you are looking the same stock twice.
Mm-hmm.
You are printing that stock back in your memory कि अच्छा something is happening with this stock. दो बार देख लो यार कितना टाइम लगेगा, 50-60 स्टॉक्स आएंगे
Mm-hmm.
ज्यादा से ज्यादा, 50-60 स्टॉक्स में से 70% ओवरलैप रहेगा तो 40 स्टॉक्स तुमको सेम सेम मिलेंगे। 40 स्टॉक्स को दो बार देख लिए कितना टाइम जाएगा, मैक्सिमम 20 मिनट्स, मैक्सिमम बोल
ये
रहा हूँ, नॉट मोर देन 10
ये
मिनट्स
ये लर्निंग रही मेरे लिए भी।
भाई एक ही स्टॉक को बार बार देखो एंड देन यू सी व्हाट हैपेंस मैजिकली टू योर ब्रेन।
And to say कि to judge a company fundamentally, we should at least wait for some quarters. जैसे बीच में -66 आ गया, could we means
सो
should we wait, or is there any condition कि इतने quarter तक मैं wait करूंगा या कुछ ऐसा?
लाइक आई सेड दिस इज जस्ट 20%, go get on a con call, find out the reason of why this -66%, because like you there will be many analysts you know curious to know what is happening, why it's happening. They would be asking all
Mhm.
sort of questions to the management. Listen to that, you'll have your answer, you'll know what's the trend going to look like. See,
And I think
there is no
even
there is no
Mhm.
escaping the hard work. Okay, you have to do the hard work. Just looking at these numbers, if you think you have found a magic elixir and you going to get stocks that go up 1000%, 2000% in a year and a half, it's not going to happen like that. No.
what you do is कि 15% से 15% sales and 25% EPS. EPS or earnings?
EPS basically same. It's the same thing. Earning per share.
Because EPS gets diluted, means affected by splits or the
वो
bonus.
it gets taken care, उसका इतना बोनस इतना बड़ा नहीं होता कि it's going to matter much. It's hardly
ठीक है,
certain percent of the earnings. So
ठीक है.
15% for 2 quarters I said, not just 1 quarter. So
15% sales for 2 quarters.
yeah, 15%. So you want to see this consistency, that 34% here, 29% here,
And
that
even earnings
even
for
earnings,
two
yes.
quarters. ठीक है.
Yes, yes. So that is when you will see कि it's not going to be one off. You don't want to be in this stock at this point यहाँ पे or at this point यहाँ पे, ठीक है? You, like I said, right? You're not there to capture all the move. यहाँ पे 4% है, यहाँ पे 34% है. Okay, fine. Now this here should catch your attention that something is happening, and this is when I would start researching about the company कि अच्छा ठीक है, what is going to happen. And something like this happens, I would know कि अच्छा ठीक है, it's going to be consistent from here onwards, right?
Even means even if it is way below 52-week high or
नहीं, 52 week high is वो तो जनरल क्राइटेरिया है,
ठीक है.
राइट? सो
So means no,
इसके ऊपर देर विल
none
बी
of.
सो
Mhm.
सो basic filter, let's call it this way. This fundamental filters is for your universe list, ठीक है? 30, 40, 50 stocks. On top of that, you add 52-week high. On top of that, you add RS. You on top of that, you add your group rank, right? These three filters sit on top of these fundamental filters, and that prepares your watch list.
So again, key, should we combine fundamental and technical filters, or should we scan for them separately?
Up to you. Up to
Mhm.
you. How many charts you want to see on a weekly basis? How many charts do you want to scan?
And this जो 15% सेल्स हो रही है तो एनीवेज सिर्फ एक अर्निंग सीजन के टाइम ही काम देते हैं. आफ्टर दैट द लिस्ट रिमेन सेम.
Exactly. So मैंने वही बोला था ना, your universe shouldn't change. Your universe should always be like 70
फॉर अ
80%
क्वार्टर.
70 80% fixed, जहाँ पे things are not shuffling around much. Watch list is something where you know you will see in and out based on RS filter, based on group rank filter, based on your 52-week high filter. For example, uh, some stocks from your universe list now they are starting to appear within the 20% from their 52-week high. So they will now come into your watch list, right? So like that. Technical is to support the fundamentals.
So वही कि what to buy is fundamentals and when to buy is technicals.
Always been this.
ठीक है. कंटिन्यू करते हैं इस पे 10.
Right? So, anything else for today, or are we done?
Just one question.
Catches?
Just one question. वही कि when you start doing technicals, you lose the fundamental aspect. So वो वापस कैसे लाएं?
यार 15-20 मिनट से वही तो बात कर रहे हैं. See,
नहीं नहीं. आई मीन कि मतलब जैसे आपने नंबर्स देख लिया, जो अगर आप जस्ट फंडामेंटल्स कर रहे होते हो तो आपका रिसर्च पार्ट बहुत स्ट्रांग होता है. इन टेक्निकल्स के बाद वो रिसर्च पार्ट चला जाता है, मतलब यू हैबिट नहीं रहती बेसिकली.
so again, like I said, it depends from person to person. I am somebody who doesn't like to have a lot of churn, a lot of turnaround. I want to stick to stock for a good growth cycle of 3-4 quarters of theirs, right? For that, I need to know about the company. And my personality, I'm sort of very lazy. That's why in the beginning I said I didn't track any other sector other than power transmission and distribution, and I want to stick to that, right? That is coming purely from the laziness as a personality, right? If somebody who can scan every day, uh, let's say just 10% from 52-week, or let's say just 5% from 52-week, and they are not worried about churn, they're not worried about their portfolio, they want to just capture 3-4 hours, they want to just go with 10% size, 15% size. I mean, you can go with any size you want in the single buy, but generally speaking, one buy 10-15% se zyada if you do, then you lose your mathematical edge. Jahan pe 15%, let's say a 4% risk is 0.6-0.7% impact on your portfolio, right? So the ideal way to do is split your size into multiple buys. That's how I like to do it. If I want to build 30% size, I would probably want to have 2 to 3 buy points. For that, I need to start buying the stock when they are consolidating. For that, I need to know why I should buy this stock. Uh, is it likely to go up? For that, I need to know about the company, about the sector. For that, I need to know my fundamentals of the company, and for that, the research is required. If you are somebody who is just going to, let's say, Loris Labs, right? If you are somebody who is just going to see, okay, I see this pivot here, I see this pivot here, and I'm going to buy. That's fine too. Um, for that, you don't need to do that research, right? So again, to do or not to do the fundamental research is sort of depends on you as a person and nothing else.
That's it for this week.
All right, I think we had a good session. We'll continue on
Definitely,
this.
बहुत अच्छा.
We'll continue on this fundamental model book, and you will see so many examples that you'll be amazed that this is kind of the magic elixir, but this is just the 20% of it. Actual research is what you need to do. Post you have discovered some stocks that are showing this kind of growth, right? The actual research comes from listening to them, learning about their business.
So in the last video, what I did was आपने बताया कि TD Power and Aether Energy one of the best calls जिनकी होती है, तो व्हाट आई हैव डन इज कि उन दोनों की
CarTrade is also one of those stocks.
सो आई
इनकी इनकी अर्निंग बहुत, सॉरी, इनका कॉन्फ्रेंस कॉल, इनका मैनेजमेंट का बहुत अच्छा डिस्कशन होता है.
सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज कि इस बार इसका भी, पिछली बार मैंने टीडी पावर और एथर एनर्जी का लिंक कर दिया था नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में. सो व्हाट आई विल डू इज कि इस बार कार्ट्रेड एंड जेनटेक का, जेनटेक का नहीं सॉरी, जेनटेक का पुराना कौन कॉल,
I think it will be difficult to get.
नहीं ठीक है मिल जाएगा उसमें, तो मैं लिंक कर दूंगा. और
Start with March 2023 for Zen Tech.
ठीक है. एंड Q&A फॉर्म इज इन द डिस्क्रिप्शन. कुछ भी क्वेश्चन हो यू कैन आस्क. यही है, कुछ भी चाहिए हो, कुछ भी फीडबैक हो हमारे लिए, तो वो कमेंट्स में, और नेक्स्ट क्या डिस्कस कर सकते हैं वो भी, उसके आइडियाज भी हमें दें. फॉर द नेक्स्ट 2 वीक्स हम प्लान तो यही कर रहे हैं कि विनर्स को डिस्कस करेंगे.
Fundamentally, most likely, yeah.
फंडामेंटली, मोस्टली फंडामेंटल साइड,
Yeah.
टेक्निकल साइड.
टेक्निकल साइड तो सबको पता है यार.
हम्म.
सब जानते हैं टेक्निकल, सब मास्टर हैं.
ठीक है,
ठीक है.
डन फॉर
ओके
दिस
बॉय.
वीक. एंड ओके भैया, बाय बाय.
बाय.